Ever get stuck, like really stuck trying to make a decision? Like neither option feels right, and you kind of start thinking, maybe, just maybe, doing nothing is the best move.
It's a question people have been wrestling with for centuries, right?
Totally. And it's one this whole deep dive today really digs into. We're diving into the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4 specifically.
With a little help from T.N. Sethamadevan's commentary, of
Yeah,
course.
always got to give credit where credit's due. But seriously, get ready because we're talking some pretty profound stuff here. Karma, liberation, the whole enchilada.
What's fascinating about the Gita is that it doesn't tiptoe around the big stuff. It throws you right into this intense battlefield drama to get the point across.
No kidding. I mean, talk about a tough situation. Our main man, Arjuna, this warrior prince, is facing an impossible choice. Go to battle against his own family, his teachers, people he deeply respects, or, well, don't.
It's like the ultimate illustration of those struggles we all face. Duty versus personal feelings. What are the consequences of our actions? And that deep down desire for something more, something beyond the immediate problem.
100%. And then there's the twist. And I'm not talking about a little plot twist here. This is a big one. Arjuna's charioteer, Krishna. Yeah, not just some guy who can handle a chariot. We're talking about a divine being, an avatar. He's here to, shall we say, set the record straight.
It's key to understand this isn't some buddy giving friendly advice. Krishna is revealing this timeless wisdom about the fabric of reality and this whole avatar thing. It gets at this idea that the divine steps in whenever good and evil need a little cosmic balancing.
Okay, so we've got an epic battle, a crisis of conscience, and a god for a charioteer. Where does this whole action versus inaction thing fit in?
That's where things get really interesting. See, Krishna says action, or karma, isn't just about the physical stuff we do. He breaks it down into 3 categories, right? Action, this is karma that vibes with your dharma, your purpose. Then there's forbidden action, or vikarma, the stuff that throws things out of whack, like on a universal scale.
Okay, I'm following so far. It's like a cosmic guide to good and bad deeds. But I thought you said 3 categories.
Exactly. And this is where we get to the paradox. Inaction, a karma. But before, you picture Arjuna just dropping his weapons and taking a nap in the middle of a war zone.
Because something tells me that's not the answer to a cosmic crisis.
Right. It's not that simple. A karma, it's way deeper than just doing nothing. It's this state of being where you might still act, but you're not attached to the results. It's about recognizing that your true self, the real you, is the one observing all the doing, unchanging.
Okay, but how do we even begin to understand that? It's like trying to watch your own thoughts, you know?
It definitely takes a bit of mental maneuvering. Krishna uses this analogy of a wave in the ocean.
I think I see where you're going with this.
So you see a wave, right? It rises, falls, crashes on the shore. Seems like a separate thing. But ultimately, it's all just the ocean, just water moving in different ways. Our actions, they're like those waves. And us, our true self, we're the ocean.
So we're not just these individual waves being tossed around. We're also this vast, unchanging ocean underneath it all.
Exactly. And just like the ocean doesn't freak out over a few waves, our true self isn't bound by all those actions. That's the heart of a karma. Acting without being attached to the results. It's about tapping into that deeper identity.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we actually live that way? How do we reach that ocean consciousness when life is, well, life. It's not like we can all just ditch everything and become monks.
It's not about running away from the world. It's about changing how we see it, how we experience it. And that's where Krishna's advice gets really practical. He talks about the importance of knowledge, but not just like book smarts.
Right, because knowing the Bhagavad Gita inside and out doesn't automatically make you a wise, peaceful person, does it?
Exactly. He's talking about a deeper understanding, Shanana. It's about really getting who we are, our place in the universe, how it's all connected. Krishna actually compares this knowledge to fire.
Fire. Okay, now that's an image.
Right, because it burns away the effects of our past actions, the good and the bad. Think about that for a second. Even someone who's, let's say, made some questionable choices, they can still find liberation through this path of knowledge.
So there's hope for all of us, even if our karma needs a bit of a scrub.
Totally. It's about recognizing that true freedom comes from within. But Krishna is also clear. It's not easy. It takes dedication, discipline, and finding a true guru, a teacher who's walked the path themselves.
So finding a good mentor is key, like the universe's version of a life coach who really gets you.
Exactly. But just as important as the right teacher, being the right student, Krishna lays out these 3 crucial qualities for anyone on this path: faith, devotion, and self-control. And what's cool is these apply even if you're not on some big spiritual quest.
break this down for me, starting with faith. What does that even mean in this context? It's not about blind faith,
I-
right?
Not at all. He's talking about Shraddha, a deep trust in the process, in the teachings, and in your own potential to wake up to this truth. It's a trust you earn through experience and reflection, not just blind acceptance.
And devotion, okay, I get that. Dedication to the practice, the whole journey. But self-control, that's a tough one, especially in our world today, with distractions coming at us a mile a minute.
He's talking about Samitendriya, mastering your senses instead of letting them control you, not being a slave to every craving, every impulse that pops up. It's like instead of constantly refreshing social media, you choose how and when you engage with it. You're in the driver's seat.
So it's not about being some emotionless robot, but about making conscious choices, being aware of why we do what we do.
Exactly. And that awareness, that ability to choose your response, that's a huge step toward the freedom and clarity Krishna's talking about.
It's like realizing we have a choice in how we react, even if we can't always control what life throws at us. But this whole idea of thoughts being actions too, that's got me thinking. I mean, our world today, it's full of mental input, news, social media, you name it, way more than Arjuna had to deal with on that battlefield. How can we even begin to apply this detachment thing with all that noise around us?
You're right. That's a really important point. It's a whole different level of mental stimulation than ancient India, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Those core principles, they still apply. Detachment isn't about pretending the world isn't there or trying to shut it out. It's about changing how we relate to it all.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Remember the wave analogy we talked about? Right, we're not trying to make the waves of thoughts and feelings stop from coming. That's impossible. It's about seeing that we, our true selves, are that vast ocean beneath those waves.
So it's about finding that calm, that center, even when everything around us feels chaotic.
Exactly. It's about building that inner awareness so we can observe those thoughts, those cravings, those anxieties, without letting them completely carry us away.
Easier said than done, though, right?
Well, it takes practice. Just like Arjuna trained in archery, we can train our minds. Mindfulness, meditation, whatever, helps us connect with that deeper sense of self.
Like building a mental muscle. The more we work at it, the better we become at riding those inner waves.
You got it. It's a journey, for sure. There'll be times when we get pulled under, no doubt. But the key is to keep coming back to that awareness, to keep reminding ourselves that we have a choice in how we respond.
That's a powerful thought to end on, that even in the middle of everything, we have the power to choose. It might not always be easy, but it's possible.
It is, and that's a journey worth taking.
This deep dive has given me a lot to think about, that's for sure. The Bhagavad Gita might be ancient, but it's amazing how much it still speaks to us today.
It speaks to that universal longing we all have for meaning, for purpose, and yeah, for liberation. And not liberation is some far-off goal, but something we cultivate inside ourselves moment by moment.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll leave you with this. What if true freedom isn't about escaping our challenges, but about facing them with that clarity, that wisdom, maybe even a little bit of that ocean consciousness?
Love it.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring.